After more than 8 years of war in Iraq, the U.S. military packed its bags and left at the end of 2011. It did so, hoping the Iraqi people would be a model of democracy for the rest of the Middle East.
That opportunity is there. I think if they take advantage of the opportunity, they can become a leader in this region. And so we're hopeful that the right things will continue to happen.
But the U.S. didn't want to pull out, at least not entirely. President Barack Obama was prepared to keep 10,000 troops for security training and counter-terror operations, but only if they could be shielded from local prosecution. The Iraqi parliament said no. Analysts say the Iraqi people are now paying the price.
I think it is regrettable the United States is gone, and with all due respect to Iraqi friends, I think they made a mistake. Some people will blame President Obama for not having been generous enough in the offer he made. And ultimately, it was not unreasonable to expect the Iraqi parliament to make this decision. After all, it's a sovereign country with an elected government. So I'm afraid that on this issue, I put the blame squarely on the Iraqis.
What also frustrates the U.S. administration? Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki has failed to share power with Sunnis and Kurds. He welcomes political influence from Tehran, and even though the national oil industry brought in $89 billion last year, Maliki is still asking Washington for military and economic aid. $2.3 billion in 2012, $590 million in 2013, and nearly as much for this year. That has Washington fearing it's now dealing with an autocrat who will not listen.
I think first, the only real leverage we had was arms sales. The most you could do was to regularly ask or push, at least politely within the constraints of diplomacy, the Maliki government to be more national, more inclusive, and less corrupt.
Analysts say they don't expect Wednesday's elections to have an impact on U.S.-Iraqi relations. That's because Iraq has every right to chart its own course, regardless of what the U.S. thinks might be best for it. Rosiland, Al Jazeera, Washington.